Prabhu. Uh, Personally, I have known him for almost 25 years now. But little introduction. He came in touch with the International Society for Krishna Consciousness in Mumbai in 1991. And he was initiated by His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj at the age of 18 in 1995. And then in 1999, he joined the ISKCON Chopati Temple. He's part of the Chopati Temple management team, the congregation development team, and the other satellite centers around Mumbai. He's also part of the team which oversees management for the annual Kartik Yatra in Vrindavan. If you know, every year it happens in the month of Kartik. So he is one of the pillars for organizing that yatra as well. There are many more things, which I can say, but taking time into consideration, we would like to welcome His Grace Baldev Prabhu to Shishi Radha Kalachanji Dham. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna. Kirtan? Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Jai Radha Kala Chanji Radha Kala Chanji Radhe. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jai Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jaya Jaya Gurudev Gurudev. Nithai Gaur Premanandi. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajaka Stotra Shata Shri Srimad. His Divine Grace Abhay Charanarvind Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajaka Stotra Shata Shri Srimad. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Prabhupada Ki Jai. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय. निताय गौर प्रेमानंदी. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahiyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamsha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin iti namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratvishe Namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So welcome all the devotees and guests for today's morning Srimad Bhagavatam and the lotus feet of Shri Radha Kala Chanji. Seek blessings of Shri Radha Kala Chanji, Shri Gaur Nitai, Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Maharani, Shri Radha Govinda, Srila Prabhupada, His Holiness Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, and all the associates of Shri Radha Kala Chanji sitting here. So it was a great dream of mine to come to this holy place for many years. This year, Radha Kala Chanji allowed me to come. So I'm grateful to all of you for such a nice, wonderful temple, wonderful association of devotees, and so many other things. It's a wonderful community here. So I would like to sit down there and hear all of you, but somehow or other I am on the spotlight now, and I have to speak to all of you. So I'll just share what I have learned from Srila Prabhupada and all his associates. So we are discussing the ongoing Srimad Bhagavatam. This is canto number 7, chapter number 15. And we are going to cover today from verse 57, right? From 57 to verse number 68, right? So, this is what I heard. This is what I should go on. That means I just read the verse, actual verse, and then read translation, and maybe every devotee reads the translations. And in between, I speak something, and in the end, I take up one verse, and we recite 3 times that verse. Is that how we go? Can someone help me in that? Because it's a new way. For me, it's a new thing. Thank you. So we'll do that. So we are on the verse number 57 now. So I will recite this and then I will read the translation, and then each of you can read the next translations as I inform you. Adavante jananam sadvahir anta paravaram jnanam giyam vacho vachyam Tamo jyoti tvayam swayam. Translations and purports by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. He who exists internally and externally, at the beginning and end of everything and of all living beings, as that which is enjoyable and as the enjoyer of everything, superior and inferior, is the supreme truth. He always exists as knowledge, and the object of knowledge as expression and the object of understanding as darkness and as light. Thus he, the Supreme Lord, is everything. So this is a very beautiful translation here, where we have heard this verse from the Upanishad. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudashyate Purnasya Purnamadaya. Srila Prabhupada would say this is the most complete verse, because here Purnamadam Purnamidam, there is this word complete comes in that verse many times. So Prabhupada said this is the most complete verse describing the complete Supreme Personality of Godhead. So similar to this verse, we find here that the wonderful description in whatever one small translation covers up the whole dimension about how Krishna is complete in everything. So this is a discussion going on. We are almost concluding the discussion which is happening in the 7th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. A brief recap here. This has begun by Maharaj Yudhishthir and Narad Muni coming together. The platform and the background is, in the Mahabharata, it is mentioned that how Yudhishthir Maharaj did a Rajasuya Yagya. And in the Rajasuya Yagya, I'm sorry, the great sages asked Yudhishthir Maharaj, the part of the Yagya is to decide a personality who will be offered the first worship. And without even a second thought, Yudhishthir Maharaj said, who can be the one other than Supreme Lord Krishna who is with us? So Lord Sri Krishna was immediately offered the Vyasasana, the throne, and Agra Puja, the first worship was done. So there are many devotees, many personalities who are very happy that finally in the assembly of everyone, Krishna is getting due worship. But there are some antagonists, some people who are not devotees, and they were not happy. Some of them did not express. They kept that grudge inside. But there was one person who could not keep that thing inside. And that was Shishupal. Shishupal was born blaspheming Krishna. That was his forte. He was qualified, well qualified. He was skilled. Can you imagine anyone born just to blaspheme Supreme Lord? Shishupal was such a person. So much envy that he was born, instead of crying, he was shouting ill names of Krishna. So anyways, ultimately he had his end in the hands of Krishna. Krishna had promised his mother, who also happened to be his aunt, that because Shishupal was born with 2 horns, unique. A small child born with 2 horns. And then everyone surprised, this looks a deformed baby. So then the Akashvani, the divine sound came, that soon he will lose his 2 horns when a personality will pick him up. And that personality will be cause of his death also. So when the Shishupal was still small, a baby, Lord Shri Krishna, who had just come to Mathura after coming to Vrindavan and killed Kamsa, so he went and visited his auntie to see this baby of auntie, his nephew, his brother, cousin brother. So as soon as he picked up Shishupal, the 2 horns disappeared. And auntie was very happy. Wow, the horn is gone now. But then she realized, oh, he is going to be the cause of the death of my son. She took a promise from Krishna that you should not kill him. Krishna said, how can I decide? Because already Akashvani is done. So I can put some conditions. So he said, okay, so you forgive all his mistakes. So Krishna said, how many? So mother said, 100. And she thought that 100 mistakes he will make. So Krishna said, okay. So in the Shishupal and Lord Krishna's great reciprocation or the whole dealing, in Agra Puja, Shishupal blasphemed Krishna. Unique blasphemy, 100 of them. Can you imagine someone? I mean, if someone asks you to blaspheme someone, even the best of people will not able to blaspheme 100 unique wrong things about anyone. But Shishupal was empowered to even blaspheme. So he continued blaspheming and Krishna was smiling. Bhimsen's blood was boiling, Arjuna's blood was boiling, but Yudhishthira kept him in control and Krishna said, don't do anything. Let him continue. Today is his day. Today is his last day. Not this day. Today is his last day. Every dog has a day. Today's this dog has his last day. And finally, when 100th blasphemy came out, then Krishna picked his Sudarshan Chakra and chopped the head off Shishupal. He chopped his head such a way that not even one drop of blood fell down on the floor. Because one drop of blood falling on the floor means the whole yajna will get contaminated and the yajna cannot happen. So Krishna knew. So Krishna performed a surgery without even one drop of blood coming out. And then Yudhishthir Maharaj saw that Shishupal's soul entered the body of Krishna, and that was surprising for everyone. Generally, Yudhishthir Maharaj thought that he should go to hell, but he got a mukti, liberation. And that was a small query which Yudhishthir Maharaj had in his mind. Relevant time when Narad Muni, who was also part of the assembly, came and sat near Yudhishthir Maharaj. Yudhishthir Maharaj asked this question to Narad Muni. How can someone so envious, get chance liberation which is aspired by great sages? And then the whole discussion began, and it led to the discussion of how this person is not an ordinary person. In the past life, he was Jai and Vijay who took 3 births, and in those description, Narad Muni mentions that they first came as Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha, and Hiranyakashipu was killed by Narasingha Bhagwan because he went against his son. So picking the clue, then Yudhishthir Maharaj, how can a father become so against his son, and like Prahlad Maharaj like son? And then the whole pastime of Lord Nrsimhadev comes in the 7th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So anyways, Yudhishthir Maharaj is an amazing personality. He is a Mahabhagavat, right? And yet, he knows everything. But yet, he is asking like he doesn't know anything. And that is the reality. A devotee in his life always is trying to learn things. Even if he knows something, he wants to know it better. Right? That is just like, for example, we may have eaten so many cakes in our life, right? Prasad always is a very good example for devotees to know things. So we always have eaten so many cakes in our life, but when a new cake comes, wow, I'll try that also. And that's how a devotee also is. He knows Krishna, but he wants to know more. He wants to know from, he has heard from great sage Vedvyas, but now he wants to hear the same thing from Narad Muni. After hearing Narad Muni is happy. Now he wants to hear from Parvat Muni. So in this way, we find all these great Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis, they would always be eager to hear. The 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam mentions the Nava Yogendras coming in the assembly of King Nimi. And King Nimi, not even welcoming them, starts asking questions to them. So in the purport, the disciples of Srila Prabhupada say, generally if some great Vaishnavas come, then you honor them, worship them, welcome them, and finally later you can ask your query. But why did Nimi jump into question? The first thing is, Nimi did not know how long they will stay, because they came by their own accord. They were all avadhutas. So they may go away. So no formality, right? I want to just immediately take advantage. And his question is, please tell me how I can do something. My problem is this. So he begins with his own problem. So the purport mentions that why did Nimi did not glorify first initial 2-3 sentences and then present his problem. The example is given that when you go to a doctor, and if you are in ailment, you are in disease, we don't go to doctor and talk to doctor, how is everything going, how is your business going on, when you got a degree. Immediately we jump, we go to doctor, my problem is this. Immediate problem is given to doctor and doctor gives solution. So this is the approach of great devotees when they meet wonderful Mahabhagavats here. So Yudhishthir Maharaj is already a great Mahabhagavat. But when he is approaching Narad Muni, he is asking such beautiful questions. Thanks to him, we are getting to learn, study Bhagavatam here. So this is a very unique canto, 7th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. We are going to conclude in few days. The 7th canto of Bhagavatam. We have Bhagavatam 12 cantos. The biggest canto is 10th canto, which describes Krishna's beautiful pastimes in Vrindavan, Mathura, Dwarka and other places like Hastinapur. And Lord Krishna's all incarnations are given in Srimad Bhagavatam. Krishna's to Bhagavan Swayam, and all Varahadev, Vamanadev, Kurma avatar, Matsya avatar, etc. etc. But if you see, after Lord Krishna's pastime, the next biggest explanation of any avatar is 7th canto. You see, Varaha incarnations cover up 2-3 chapters, right? And Kurma incarnations come few shlokas in the Samudra Manthan pastime. But Narsingh Bhagwan's pastime is in full 1 canto, right? Of course, Narsingh Dev appears only in 3 chapters. But to get Narsingh Dev's great power, we need to know the great devotion of Prahlad Maharaj. And to understand the great devotion of Prahlad Maharaj, we need to know the great atrocities of Hiranyakashipu. So the whole 7th canto is Lord Narsingh Dev's pastime. So we are almost at the conclusion of this canto, and this is the description of Yudhishthir Maharaj, who is already a great devotee but feels that he is a fallen householder and is taking advantage of Narad Muni's association. Narad Muni spoke about Prahlad Maharaj's great glory, and Yudhishthir felt Prahlad Maharaj is a young boy and such an advanced devotee, and then he considers himself like, I am a very fallen person, and asked Narad Muni, how can a fallen householder practice Krishna consciousness? How can he perform his prescribed duty and get attached to Supreme Lord's shelter? And in answer to those questions, the last few chapters, Narad Muni speaks about duties of a householder. Narad Muni speaks about a sannyasi, brahmachari, vanaprastha. And there in this chapter now, there are a few descriptions of how Brahmana, he progresses in his life. So from Jnana stage, he comes to the stage of Bhakti. So this is something which we are learning today. They're quite technical verses, few verses are very technical, and we'll go through it because it's very important to know even what is technical knowledge. So we will go to the next one, next translation. Can someone read that? 58.
Although one may consider the reflection of the sun from a mirror to be false, it has its factual existence. Accordingly, to prove by speculative knowledge that there is no reality would be extremely difficult.
Yes. So in this purport, Srila Prabhupada mentions a very beautiful point. He is quoting Shripad Madhvacharya, where he says, Durghatavad arthavatena parameshwara naiva kalpitam. The background of everything is Supreme Personality of Godhead Vasudeva. Vasudeva sarvamiti sa Mahatma sudurlava. This can be understood by a Mahatma who is perfect in knowledge. Such a Mahatma is rarely seen. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is everything. But to know Supreme Lord is not easy. It's difficult. One time one devotee approached Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada, I am reading your books, but I am not able to understand anything. Prabhupada said, very good. So he could not understand why Prabhupada is saying very good. So he thought maybe Prabhupada did not understand what I am saying. So again he repeated, Prabhupada, I am reading your books, but I am not able to understand. So Prabhupada said, that is the purpose of my book, that you read and you don't understand. Then you approach devotees and understand. So Vasudeva Sarvamiti Sa Mahatma Sudurlava. The understanding of Lord is everything is available to the medium of a Mahatma. Srila Prabhupada was very expert in presenting Krishna to anyone and everyone. And therefore he could establish Krishna consciousness in a place where no one had ever heard about Krishna. Srila Prabhupada, the initial days, he was in New York, Dr. Mishra's studio. We all know that Prabhupada was struggling those days. Prabhupada had come and stayed a month in Butler, Pennsylvania. Then he thought there is not much opportunity to preach. Let me go to New York City. But there was no one there, and he came to know of an acquaintance, a far-off friend from some other friend, Dr. Mishra. So Mishra came to know that Swamiji has come. So he allowed him to stay with him. But he knew that if Swamiji comes, then all my students will go to Swamiji because he is very attractive, he is very good speaking, and he has very good kirtan, he cooks nicely. So he was a little bit more kind of protective to his students. He never allowed Prabhupada to speak to his disciples, to his students. So like a big hall and all yoga students are sitting, And Prabhupada would sit down and tolerate this Mr. Mishra speaking philosophy to his students and doing yoga. And in the end, Prabhupada, he told, Swamiji, can you lead Kirtan for 5 minutes? So Prabhupada was only leading Kirtan, no speaking. But Prabhupada stayed every yoga class because he was waiting for opportunity. Someone will approach him and then he will preach to them. Can you imagine the ardent task of going through the whole yoga exercises, and Prabhupada is just sitting so that he can interact with some American boys and girls. So one American boy who had just come on that day, he asked question to Dr. Mishra. Dr. Mishra, who is God? And Dr. Mishra says, it's a very strange question. God is big. I can't explain it like this. Stopped him. So Prabhupada saw that, oh, he's asking a genuine question, and then this guy is saying God is everything, I can't say anything. So when the prasad was going, their food is going on, Prabhupada went to this boy and said, I am going outside for a walk. You want to come with me? So he did not know who the Swami is calling. So just, yeah, why not? So Prabhupada took that boy outside. And as Prabhupada was walking, Prabhupada pointed to a green lawn. You see this green lawn? So beautiful. So God has made this carpet for everyone so we can sit and enjoy. Oh, so right, he had asked question, who is God? So Prabhupada was connecting him with the externals which we see, and connecting him how God is not something inconceivable. We can actually see God through his creation. So Prabhupada said, this is a special carpet which God has arranged for us to sit. Then Prabhupada went ahead on the walk. And there was a big lake, Prabhupada said. You know in this lake, there are many fishes. He said, yes, many. How many are there? I don't know. Yes, we do not know. But God knows each and every fish, what's happening in their mind. So in this way, one by one, Prabhupada showed him different parts of Krishna's creation and connected him with God. And do you know who is God? He said, no, he is Krishna. So for the first time, this boy could connect something so simple with the inconceivable Lord. He became so connected to Prabhupada. He regularly came to meet Prabhupada, and eventually he became Prabhupada's disciple. He became a devotee. So Prabhupada could connect anyone to Krishna through simple connections in the outside world. Srila Prabhupada was once traveling in an airplane, and as soon as he entered into the airplane with his secretary, he went inside and sat. The pilot of the plane saw Prabhupada entering, and this pilot had got some books of Srila Prabhupada on the airport, and he had read before those books. So when the plane was aboard and was flying, he put the plane on the autopilot mode, and he came out inside from his cabin inside the main plane, and he went straight to Prabhupada and, Swamiji, are you the Hare Krishna leader? And Prabhupada said, yes. I said, Prabhupada, I have read your books. I want to ask some questions to you. So Prabhupada had a seat empty. He said, please sit. Please ask questions. So the pilot said, well, I can't sit here because I'm supposed to drive the plane. If I sit here, everyone will be confused who is driving the plane. So can you come to a cockpit? Those days, things were possible like that. He took Prabhupada to the cockpit. And Prabhupada went and sat in the cockpit, and then this pilot took the whole controls and began his questions. Then his big window screen, he said, Swamiji, this whole creation, who made this creation? So Prabhupada said, Krishna. Prabhupada did not hesitate. God, no other names, direct. Krishna. Krishna, the pilot said, yes. Swamiji, this whole creation, all good things in the creation, who made it? Prabhupada said, Krishna. And now the main question was about to come. He said, Swamiji, in this creation made by Krishna, all the bad things, who made it? So he was asking that all evil, what is the cause of evil and all these wars and problems and all that? Prabhupada chuckled. Prabhupada was an expert preacher. Prabhupada sometimes would preach, give an answer by asking a question. So Prabhupada, instead of answering him directly, asked him a question. And Prabhupada said, you can see all this? He said, yes, this creation, so much light, and there is so much of brightness. What is the cause of brightness? So the pilot was taken aback because now he was supposed to answer the question. So Prabhupada helped you understand this brightness day, how it comes. Swamiji, sun. Yes, so sun is the cause of brightness. Sun is the cause of day. And Prabhupada said, so what is the cause of night? What is the cause of darkness? He was still thinking, who? Sun is the cause of light. Is there anything coming up which becomes darkness, which causes darkness? He said, Swamiji, don't know. Prabhupada said, when the sun is there, there is light. When the sun disappears, there is darkness. So sun is the cause of light and sun is also cause of darkness. The presence of sun is light, absence of sun is darkness. And Prabhupada saw, did you understand? And he got his answer. That cause of everything is Krishna. The presence of Krishna creates good things in the universe. Absence of Krishna consciousness, Krishna, leads to all bad vices. So Prabhupada was very, very empowered, who could connect his audience to Krishna in a very unique way. And therefore we find Prabhupada books are very easily understandable comparatively compared to all the different literatures available in the world. To read any book, spiritual book, is very difficult. The language they use, the vocabulary and all. Prabhupada was one of the first persons who presented in a very simple English language, not the different language of as we use in the other books, and presented the books. And Prabhupada made the book in such a way that every purport at Krishna and Supreme Personality of Godhead take shelter of them. Why? Because Prabhupada thought if someone reads just 2 verses, why wait for the whole book to get over and then understand the conclusion? Every purport should have conclusion. So Prabhupada spoke the whole Bhagavatam, wrote the whole Bhagavatam in that context. So here, this is the little bit I thought about how Vasudeva Sarvamiti. We can understand the all-pervading Supreme Lord Vasudeva only through the medium of Samahatma, through the medium of a Mahatma, great soul, Sudurlabha. I remember one time His Holiness Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj was in Calcutta giving a one-time program in a marine college. And this was told to me by one of our sannyasis of a movement, Bhakti Padma Saurabh Prachar Maharaj. He is from Mumbai, and before he was Kamalochan Prabhu. So he began his Krishna consciousness by in a marine engineering college, and he heard Tamal Krishna Goswami give a class in that college. So after that, someone introduced him to Tamal Krishna Maharaj, and he just was standing in front of Tamal Krishna Maharaj, and he was saying that you all have taken up Krishna consciousness and spreading Krishna consciousness all over the world. And because he was a news, so he was glorifying Maharaj that you are coming from another country and you are presenting Krishna consciousness so nicely. And Tamal Krishna Maharaj said, this is all because of Srila Prabhupada. We did not know anyone. We knew only one person, Prabhupada. So Prabhupada said, Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. So we accepted it. And Tamal Krishna Maharaj chuckled and said, if you had told us Sai Baba is Supreme, we would have accepted it. But whatever Srila Prabhupada said, we did. So this is Vasudeva Sarvamiti. We do not know who is Vasudeva. Some Mahatma Sudurlabha. Mahatma knows Vasudeva. And when you take shelter of Mahatma, then he did introduce us to Vasudeva. And then eventually by serving Mahatma and Vasudeva, then we come to know, yes, indeed, Vasudeva Sarvamiti, we realize. So this is about this particular verse. Let's go to the next verse quickly.
In this world, there are 5 elements, namely earth, water, fire, air, and ether. But the body is not a reflection of them, nor a combination or transformation of them. Because the body and its ingredients are neither distinct nor amalgamated, all such theories are insubstantial.
So we hear this particular aspect here about the internal details of Krishna's creation here. Like Srila Prabhupada would say that the explanation of Gita and Bhagavatam is complete understanding of Supreme Lord and His creation. Whereas in other places, other literatures, you will not find a detailed explanation about them. Like it is said that the Lord thought of creation and creation was done. I'm just paraphrasing the other scriptures. But here you will find how the creation is. So everything is given as per time, place, and circumstances. Like you go to a vending machine which gives out some cold drinks, soft drinks. You know, we go, sometimes we buy something from the market. All we did is just we select they mention step 1, step 2, step 3, right? Step 1, select the bottle. Step 2, swipe your card. Step 3, it will fall down, collect it. So all we know about the vending machine is 3 steps. But an engineer will know multiple steps. Between step 1 and step 2, what's happening, he knows the details. And a person who is maintaining the machine may know 20 steps. How the bottle is not falling, something is issue, then he will even rectify and correct that thing. So we find here that while Krishna is the supreme creator, Srimad Bhagavatam is also introducing us how he is creating. In insightful way of showing that how Krishna creates his creation. So now we can see that many things, while we go through technical understanding, technical knowledge, we will think this is too much for us to grasp, right? Earth, water, fire, ether, body is reflection of them. Sometimes when we go through Bhagavatam, a description of the material world, creation, we hardly understand. But still we go through because it's a process of purification, right? And therefore it is great that we have access to this information. We may not know the information, we may not understand the information, but just by reading the information itself is a way of understanding how Krishna is simply so great. He can work so thoroughly, so fine. And the great sages like Narad Muni are trying to explain even the process of creation to all of us. So this is something about this verse. Let's go to the next one.
Because the body is formed of the 5 elements, it cannot exist without the subtle sense objects. Therefore, since the body is false, the sense objects are also naturally false or temporary.
Yeah. Can you read the next one also?
When a substance here we
Batteries are down, no problem. I'll read then. No, that's okay. When a substance and its parts are separated, the acceptance of similarity between one and the other is called illusion. While dreaming, one creates a separation between existences called wakefulness and sleep. It is in such a state of mind that the regulative principles of the scriptures, consisting of injunctions and prohibitions, are recommended. Ready? Ready? Yeah, okay. Text number 62. After considering the oneness of existence, activity and paraphernalia, and after realizing the self to be different from all actions and reactions, the mental speculator, Muni, according to his own realization, gives up 3 states of wakefulness, dreaming and sleep. So essentially the Bhagavatam mentions about how there is one way of understanding Krishna called as Shabda Praman, by hearing from an authority who has accessed Krishna. And there is another way of accessing the Supreme Lord is through Anuman Praman. That means you have some knowledge, you speculate on that knowledge, and you go through all different speculations, and maybe in the end you will come to the conclusion. So this is something about how the Brahmanas, the Munis who are not accustomed to hearing authority, Shabda, Brahman, They are trying to realize Krishna through the praman of speculation. So already mentioned, the mental speculator Muni, according to his own realization, gives up the three states of wakefulness, dreaming and sleep. And now, an interesting three different types of stage is coming in the next three verse. Very nice. One is called Bhava Dvaita, Kriya Dvaita, and third is Dravya Dvaita. So this is like very unique explanation given here. So we'll read 63, 64 and 65. If the mic is ready, can read. 63rd verse.
When one understands that result and cause are one and that duality is ultimately unreal, like the idea and the threads of a cloth are different from the cloth itself, one reaches the conception of oneness called Bhava Dvaita.
So this is Bhava Dvaita. So this is how a speculator slowly comes to a conclusion and eventually will reach Krishna. The first stage is Bhava Dvaita. That means he understands that the result of any activity is same as the cause. That means ultimately result is also coming from Krishna. And this is the stage he is reaching, Bhava Dvaita. When one goes beyond Bhava Dvaita, then he comes to the next stage of Kriya Dvaita. The next one, read.
64.
Yeah.
My dear Yudhishthir, Partha, when all the activities one performs with his mind, words, and body are dedicated directly to the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one reaches oneness of activities called Kriya Dvaita.
So this is Kriya Dvaita. So after Bhava Dvaita, understanding the result and the cause are one, and that person goes on to engage all his activities for the all activities on performance, mind, word and body, they direct to Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is called Kriya Dvaita. And higher than Kriya Dvaita is little more advanced that we study, that we learn from verse 65.
When the ultimate goal and interest of one's self, one's wife, one's children, one's relatives, and all other embodied living beings is one, this is called Dravya Dvaita, or oneness of interest.
So more higher understanding is not just offering our activities to Krishna, but our interest also should be offered to Krishna. So this is how deep Krishna consciousness can be. Krishna consciousness is not just external where you just offer something to Krishna, but even the interest is one with Krishna. It's called Dravya Dvaita. Prabhupada says in purport, the actual interest of all living entities, indeed, the goal of life is to return home back to Godhead. This is the interest of one's own self, one's wife, one's children, one's disciples, and one's friends, relatives, countrymen, and all humanity. The Krishna consciousness movement can give direction for management by which everyone can partake in Krishna conscious activity and reach the ultimate goal, which is known as Swartha Gatim, real Swartha, real interest. So this is the ultimate level of someone who is very advanced. And now we can see that once the explanation is given, now Narad Muni is going to glorify Yudhishthir Maharaj. Yudhishthir Maharaj is presenting himself as an ordinary householder. But Narad Muni knows it is not like that. In fact, through Yudhishthir Maharaj, Narad Muni is explaining all this to the whole world. Coming to the conclusion now, Narad Muni is going to glorify Yudhishthir Maharaj's greatness of how he was such a wonderful devotee of Krishna. So now we'll read that in the next few verses. Text number 66.
In normal condition, in the absence of danger, O King Yudhishthir, a man should perform his prescribed activities according to his status of life, with the things, endeavors, process, and living place that are not forbidden for him and not by any other means.
Yeah, next one.
O king, one should perform his occupational duties according to these instructions, as well as other instructions given in the Vedic literature, just to remain a devotee of Lord Krishna. Thus, even while at home, one will be able to reach the destination.
So Narad Muni has already explained in detail your technical understanding of how different duties have to be executed, how a Brahmana progresses in his life, a Muni progresses in life. But in last recap, he is giving us a beautiful conclusion in these last two verses, where he mentions that ultimately all the duties and instructions given in literature is nothing but to become devotee or remain devotee of Krishna. And thus, even while at home, one will be able to reach the destination. Srila Prabhupada was once giving a class in Mumbai, and he was addressing a group of people who were all very big shots, very big people. It was kind of a program arranged by one very big person in a very aristocratic location, surroundings. People who had come, they were all new. They had not met Prabhupada or seen Prabhupada. And Prabhupada was giving a lecture in Hindi. And Prabhupada was very expert in connecting with them. Prabhupada said, in a first way, Prabhupada said that we all are looking for something special in our life. We have accumulated money, we have our house, we have our family, we have our degrees, we have bank balance. Prabhupada said, but is it going to really help us? And Srila Prabhupada gave an example. You have money with us, but at time of death, the money will be of no value. Anything of no value is called as zero, Prabhupada said. So time of death, we have millions of dollars with us, but we can't take even one, not even cent also. What to speak of dollar? Can't carry anything. So the money which we have now is zero. Then Prabhupada said, we have a car, nice car. Time of death, can we take that car with us to the next life? We can't take. So the car remains, we go. So the value of car is zero, Prabhupada said. So Prabhupada is taking each example and calling it as zero. People in the audience were getting a little disturbed. All that they had worked hard for, a family, bank balance, car, house, and in just 10 minutes of class, Prabhupada was saying everything is zero. So they are feeling like Swamiji is too heavy now today, this time. But Prabhupada is coming to a very important conclusion. Prabhupada said, if you have a zero, car is zero, bank balance is zero, your house is zero, everything is zero. You put an equal sign in front of all those 5 zeros we have got. Prabhupada asked, what is the value of that zero? Someone said zero. Prabhupada said, no, big zero. The more zeros we have, bigger is the frustration. Right? More we have, we are more frustrated, we are more in anxiety. Then Prabhupada came to a wonderful conclusion. Prabhupada said, Krishna is one. You put Krishna one, and then this valueless bank balance, valueless family, and all this thing, different zero. You put a zero in front of one, the zero gets a value. It becomes 10. You put one more zero. So one zero is bank balance, other zero is car, other zero is family, degree. So one is in front, then all the zeros will get value. So it becomes 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000. And then everyone got little inspired. Everyone felt, this is good, Swamiji. Now Swamiji is saying something which we can relate, And all our zeros are having value because Krishna is there. And Prabhupada said, therefore add Krishna in our life. And all that is which is of no value will get value in life. And Prabhupada chuckled and Prabhupada said, but sometimes people say, yes, I have to add Krishna in life. Let me collect all my zeros and in the end I will add Krishna. Prabhupada said, but end will come any time. So better add Krishna first. In adding Krishna, maybe one zero will be less. But whatever zeros collected will have value. So here we can see how Narad Muni is also telling that how in householders we should connect everything with Krishna. And in this way, whatever we endeavor in our life will all get value because we are utilizing everything for Krishna's service. We go to the last verse, right? This is the last verse, 68. Yeah. So very beautiful verse glorifying the greatness of Yudhishthir Maharaj.
Text 68. O King Yudhishthir, because of your service to the Supreme Lord, all of you Pandavas defeated the greatest dangers posed by numerous kings and demigods. By serving the lotus feet of Krishna, you conquered great enemies who were like elephants, and thus you collected ingredients for sacrifice. By His grace, may you be delivered from material involvement.
So it's a blessing and also glorification. So let us recite this verse, text number 68. I will sing, you recite after me. यथा हि यूयं नृपदेव दुस्यजाद् आपद्गणात् उत्तरतात्मनः प्रभो यत्पादपङ्केरुहसेवया भवान् आहारशि निर्जितदिग्गजक्रतुन् यथा हि यूयं नृपदेव दुस्यजाद् आपद्गणादुत्तरातात्मनः प्रभो यत्पादपङ्केरुहसेवया भवान् आहारशि निर्जितदिग्गजक्रतुन् यथा हि यूयं नृपदेव दुस्यजाद् आपद्गणादुत्तरतात्मनः प्रभो यत्पादपङ्केरुहसेवया भवान् आहारशि निर्जितदिग्गजक्रतुन् Anyone wants to sing that verse? Read this purport and then conclude. Very beautiful purport. Placing himself as an ordinary householder, Maharaj Yudhishthir inquired from Narad Muni how a graha mudhadhi, a person who is entangled in household life and who thus continues to remain a fool, can be delivered. Narad Muni encouraged Maharaj Yudhishthir by saying, "You are already on the safe side because you, along with your entire family, have become a pure devotee of Krishna. By Krishna's grace, the Pandavas conquered in the battle of Kurukshetra and were saved from many dangers posed not only by kings but sometimes even by the demigods. Thus, they are a practical example of how to live in security and safety by the grace of Krishna." I remember a very nice incident of Shripad Madhvacharya commenting on Mahabharata. And there's a beautiful pastime of Yudhishthir Maharaj approaching to sign the contract before the battle was about to begin. The contract was written by Duryodhan himself. So Duryodhan with Shakuni came and Yudhishthir came with Krishna and the contract was there. Yudhishthir had no idea what is contract. So Yudhishthir picked up the contract and he was alarmed. The contract mentioned that even if one Pandavas they die, the war is over. Kauravas win. Second, till all the 100 Kauravas die, the war is not over. And if you do not finish the war in 18 days, by default Kauravas win. So Yudhishthir was perspiring. What kind of contract? This looks like a match fixing. So he was, but Duryodhana told, just sign it. Yudhishthir was perspiring, but all he could do was see what Krishna is saying. So he turned around. Krishna smiled and said, sign it. So Yudhishthir Maharaj, without even asking, what is this? How can I just sign it? Because he knew Krishna is there, everything will happen. So Yudhishthir, Arjuna, Bhima, they are all not just devotees, but they are really, they know Krishna is there, everything is there. Arjuna also, he was sent by Yudhishthir Maharaj to go and ask Krishna to fight along with them. And Duryodhana also came. Together both of them were there. And Krishna gave two options, me not fighting and my whole Sena. And Arjuna, he was given the first choice to ask. And he said, Krishna, I want you. And Duryodhana was so happy. He said, wow. He took the Sena and went away. Krishna asked Arjuna, hey, your army is so less. Why you are asking me? I am not going to fight. Krishna, you are there, everything is there. So even in those situations where there are so many issues, so many problems, they never ever failed to reach Krishna. So that is, actually Yudhishthir Maharaj was once asking Krishna, Krishna, we went through so many problems in our life. You know, I was thinking, people read about us, they will not take up Krishna consciousness. So Krishna said, no, they will read and understand that even with so many problems, someone practices Krishna consciousness. So what to speak of having small problems and giving up Krishna. So this is Krishna's amazing connection. So we'll just read the last few lines and then we'll conclude. Everyone should follow the example of Pandavas who showed how to be saved by the grace of Krishna. Our Krishna consciousness movement is intended to teach how everyone can live peacefully in this material world and at the end of life return home back to Godhead. In the material world there are always dangers at every step. Padam padam yad vipadam natesham. Nonetheless, if one takes shelter of Krishna without hesitation and keeps under the shelter of Krishna, he can easily cross the ocean of nations. Samashita yad padda padapallava plavam mahat padam punya yasho murari. For the devotee, this great ocean of nations becomes like a puddle of water in the hoof print of a cow. A pure devotee, without embarrassing himself by trying for elevation in so many ways, stays in the safest position as a servant of Krishna, and thus his life is eternally safe without a doubt. Hare Krishna. Any comments, any queries, corrections? We have no time. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Is on.
Is the understanding that there is nothing other than Krishna and this world, they are one same. Cloth and the thread are same. The sambandh, like sambandh, and then kriya advaita, that you engage in service of that Lord, and then abhidaya, the prema is a goal, that's like your interest becomes that Lord. So do you think this parallel is okay?
Yeah, it resembles many things in Krishna consciousness. So this philosophy is how a Brahmana, a Muni, through speculation reaches a conclusion to come to Krishna. It's like, there are many ways to come to Radha Kalachandji temple. So one is a straight way, other is you go around and come. But when you go around, when you're going around, there is no connection. You don't say how I'm going to reach Kalachandji. But as soon as you come closer to Kalachandji, something resembles. So the original path also is somewhere close by. So it looks similar, right? You understand the example? So when people come to conclusion, Krishna is Sarvamiti, those conclusions very much resemble the tenets of Krishna consciousness, of bhakti. Hare Krishna. It's a good connection. Nice. Okay. Anything else? Yeah.
Kriya Advaita, you said the activities, the body, mind, and words are dedicated to the service, and Dravya Advaita is where the interest is also one. So, just for our personal understanding, um, isn't it that the person who has oneness of interest, the way we would see it is that his body, minds, and words are dedicated to Krishna. So, how would we see that? Okay, there is one step further in this person because his interest is. How would that manifest different from the Kriya Advaita?
Yes. So body, Kriya Advaita is activities which are offered to Krishna, right? But while offering to Krishna, maybe Krishna's remembrance may not be there. Krishna may not be, the smaran is not there. Like for example, we are offering, it's an example, in my case I am chanting, but while chanting I may not be remembering Krishna. Yet everyone is saying that, Prabhu, you are chanting. I am chanting, but I am really not chanting. Similarly, we may eat prasad, and we are taking prasad, honoring prasad, but we are not seeing it as Krishna prasadam. We are seeing it as gulab jamun. Let's take 2, chapati only 1, sabji less. So it is not bad, nothing wrong, good. But it's a stage, and there is some. Then Dravya Advaita is something where everything is Krishnaized. Even like devotees mention, devotees say that Krishna, I am engaging all my activities in your service. Now let me engage my mind in your service, right? That's the highest aspect. Everything is engaged. This whole, my house is engaged in Krishna's service, my family is engaged in Krishna's service, I am also engaged. But there is one personality who is still to be engaged, my mind. Jananivas Prabhu came to our ISKCON Chopadi temple. He was mentioning a very beautiful point.